Podkolzin, I'd be intrigued at a Podkolzin extension or sooner rather than later. You do run somewhat of a risk of him like popping off at some point. Like we know he has offensive ability in him. He has to learn to shoot the puck.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I hope every day this summer, Vasily Podkolzin is sitting in his backyard, wherever he lives in Russia, just ripping
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day. Just $1,000 a day. If you learn how to shoot, you will score 20 goals on this Oilers team. And he could be more expensive next summer relative to what you could get him for now. So like, if I went to Vasily Podkolzin right now and I said 2x2, I would do that contract right now. Does he do that? It would walk him right to unrestricted free agency. It'd put another $4 million guaranteed in his pocket. It'd keep him in Edmonton, a place where he's clearly comfortable and is spoke very highly of. 2x2 for Podkolzin, I would do that right now, and I would run the risk of running into unrestricted free agency simply on the back of you might get a value contract for the not next year, but the year after and the year after that. So I'd be intrigued by a Podkolzin extension.
We talk about it all the time that you need to take risks, like the Leon Draisaitl contract at the time. You go, was that totally worth it? Bang, becomes the best deal in the NHL for a while. And well, Pods, at $2 million. But if you could get 15, 20 goals for $2 million next to Leon Draisaitl, always talking about finding bottom level contracts, value in there. The Edmonton Oilers need to play that game. And also, we just love Pods. But will he learn to shoot the puck? TBD. That's a big question mark, and that's a big part about playing top six with Leon. Yeah. We know he can do everything else, but that's big.
Pods was also a guy that said that he's looked up to Hyman a lot in his NHL career. And Hyman's not a guy that came in like immediately and started making an impact. Like it took him a couple of years, finally found his groove, and then now look at him like he's one of the most impactful power forwards in the NHL.
So that's a great point, right? And obviously like different trajectories because one's a first-round pick, one was a 6th, 7th-round pick, got traded from Florida to Toronto and took a while. But Podkolzin is just coming off his age 23 season. I mean, Zach Hyman in his age 23 season, he's 33 now. So when did he turn 33? Recently. So he's coming off his 32 season. So 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. In his 23-year-old season, he played 16 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Next year, he played 82, but only scored 10 goals. Year after that, 15 goals, 82 games. Then finally, in what would be his age 27 season, he scored 21 goals. Then he had his 28, 29-year-old season, signed with the Oilers. And I mean, listen, not everyone's going to be able to do what Zach Hyman did and be like a true late bloomer, late developer to that extent. But I would be willing to call him like a lowercase Zach Hyman where, he's never going to score you, Podkolzin that is never going to score you 54 goals. Maybe there's 25 in there and a good penalty killer and a guy who plays physical. It can be a middle six guy. Like if you believe that's in there, then you give him 2x2. And I see what someone said in the chat saying, I'm more intrigued by keeping him hungry in his contract year. You can do that. We just did it with Evan Bouchard. Cost you mightily. And again, Vasily Podkolzin's a different conversation. Because taking the risk on Bouchard cost you, one, the ability to get him to 8 years, and it probably cost you $3 million a year on that $4 million contract. Like, it was ugly, but that's because he had high ceiling. Podkolzin, you could lock him in 2x2 now. If he scores 22 goals next season and kills penalties and plays a lot with Draisaitl, we're talking about 2x4 at that point. Like, it could legitimately get that high with the way the market's going. Squishy says, I'd like to see him sign for 5. I don't want to take that risk. Because if you go 5 years, you probably need to be again in that 2.5, 3 range. I don't want to take that risk if I'm not certain he can get me north of 15 goals. And what we saw last year is that it's not certain he can get you more than 15 goals. He finished with 8 and he played all 82 games and he played a lot with Leon Draisaitl. Like there is still a floor here with Vasily Podkolzin, and it's a guy who is nothing more than a fourth liner. So yeah.
And he's contributed well as a fourth liner. Like, even in the playoffs, like, there was never a game where I was like, oh, Pods is having a bad game tonight. Like, he's always going 100%, always laying the extra hit.
Brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Exactly. Like, has no problem doing the dirty work. And I think that's what a lot of these big boys on Edmonton need, is just some guy that's going to go in the corners, dig it up, muck it up, and get the puck over to them as fast as possible.
Leon Draisaitl loves that type of player. That was Warren Fogle, how he scored 20 goals, retrieve pucks, get it to him, go to the net. Bang.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.